Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. I'm Jack Nolan, and joining us now on Notre Dame Day is a loyal son of Soren Hall and the Notre Dame class of 1991. He has had an enormously successful career in broadcasting in his hometown of Denver, Colorado, a career that continues to this day. His peers have bestowed 30 Emmy Awards on him for his excellence in broadcasting. Vic Lombardi, welcome back to Notre Dame Day.
Jack, 'tis an honor to be on this program with one of my mentors in this business. I learned so much from you, and I was so happy to see you retire with full grace and a full head of hair. I think it's a head of hair that I envy the most.
You know, the older I get, men my age love the hair. I don't completely get it, but they usually point out that I have it. Coach Bray is somewhat jealous of my hair, but enough about that. You've had the opportunity to work a number of Notre Dame days, but that's not where I want to start our conversation. Let's start on a personal level. A couple of years ago, you were diagnosed with prostate cancer, and you made the decision to share your fight with the disease with the world. My dad went through the same thing, and I want to tell you, he had the drastic surgery and lived another 25 years, and I know you're going to do the same thing. But tell us how surprised you were with the diagnosis. What motivated you to go public with your battle, and where you are today with this battle?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Jack. I didn't know we were going to go here, but I love talking about it because I think not enough men who pay attention to their bodies don't pay close enough attention. I was 49 years old, Jack, 2 years ago, minding my own business, when I decided, it'd been a while since I'd gotten a physical. So I went and got a physical. My doctor, my previous doctor, had retired. So a new doctor took me on, and she said, I don't know you too well. Let's go ahead and do the full blood scans. And we did the PSA scan at the time, which I had never done. Usually you do a PSA scan in this country at the age of 50. And what that does is monitor your prostate levels and all that business. So I did the PSA, not knowing a thing about it. 2 weeks later, I got a call. You've got to go see a urologist immediately. I went to the urologist, and lo and behold, I had a very aggressive form of prostate cancer. What caught me off guard is that I had zero symptoms. I had no family history. I didn't have any issues at all. It just came out of nowhere. Had I not gone to get that physical, had I not met that doctor that day, I'd still probably be dealing with this right now, and it would festered and gotten a lot worse. So I took care of it 2 years ago. We had it surgery. And, you're still very wary because of the aggressive nature of it. But the reason I went public, Jack, is because not enough people, especially guys in their 40s and their early 50s, not enough of us do due diligence to take care of this. It's not something that's hard to do. When you go visit the doctor and you go get a physical, you make sure you ask, I want to be tested. I want the blood test. I want you to check my prostate. And that's exactly the message that I'm trying to put forth.
And I think you make a huge point. By the time you get symptoms of this cancer, it's probably too late. It does its work silently, because I have a family history. I've been getting the test for 20 years. I get an annual physical with a blood test, just say, do that. I'm glad you did. You look great. So let's move on to the fun stuff. It's kind of ironic that we're also interviewing two close friends of yours, both Notre Dame grads, that you continue to work with in TV and radio in Denver. So do you have a favorite story about either Ryan Harris or Bill Hanslick, or both, that you'd like to share?
Well, let's start with Bill Hanslick. It's great. I've got the sandwich here. I got Ryan and Bill on both sides. When you visit with Bill Hanslick, Jack, I want you to ask him how he acts while he's watching a Nuggets game behind closed doors. Because when we do the television thing, right, and we're on air, everything's hunky-dory. We're very professional. But when Bill is watching the games without the cameras rolling, it is utter mayhem and chaos. And he'll answer to that. I'll let him answer with his own words. So that's my Bill Hanslick story. Ryan Harris is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Got a chance to go to the Super Bowl with him. When was it now? 2020, just about 14 months ago. And he got us into any and every party we wanted. He's one of those guys where I call him a Super Bowl ticket. You go with him anywhere, he will get you into anything. So I learned a lot from both guys, Ryan Harris, who's younger, and Bill Hanslick, who's older.
Ryan Harris makes himself America's guest, and they want him there. You will find the best cigars, you will
Yes.
find the best beverages, and the
You're
best
right.
food
You know.
immediately. Oh, yeah, that's one of the things I am going to miss the most. Now, this past football season, you and Ryan hosted a weekly football show called Here Come the Irish. So you've been an active observer of the Notre Dame football program your whole career, even when you were interning at WNDU, but you continue to pay close attention. So let's first talk Ian Book. Why should NFL general managers be happy to have a chance to draft this Notre Dame quarterback?
I think Ian is a student of the game who's able to adapt. And people always say, well, can they make the jump to the NFL? How tough a jump is it to the NFL? The guy played at the ultimate level already. And again, he knows how to handle chaos around him. He did that at the University of Notre Dame. There's no reason whatsoever why he couldn't handle his business at the NFL level. It's not easy, but there are quarterbacks in the National Football League who have made a living with not easy, and they've done it for many, many years. Once you get in that system and you prove yet you're able to handle an NFL system, you're good to go for a good couple decades. I mean, I could think of some backup quarterbacks who may not be preeminent, who have made quite the living, and then others who they never thought would be a great starting quarterback and have become one. So we don't know what's next for Ian Book. And listen, he already overcame odds. Was he supposed to be the starting quarterback for Notre Dame all those years? Was he supposed to be the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history? I don't think anybody anticipated that. And here we are.
Now, in the offseason, Clark Lee moved on to Vanderbilt, and Notre Dame was able to hire one of the most coveted defensive coordinators in the country, Marcus Freeman. Did you get a chance to watch his Cincinnati defense play this past season? And if so, what excites you the most about this hire?
I did. I really did. And it's a ball hawking defense. It's very aggressive defense. They make things happen, right? The worst case scenario when you're watching your favorite team play, not that this happened in Notre Dame, but any team, is when, the obvious, where a team can move up and down the field. But his defenses they have a way of getting the ball back. And when you can get the ball back, that isn't defense, that's offense. So it's like having an offense on both sides of the ball. So I can't wait to see his style and how he fits in with this team and this coaching squad.
Vic, you've made the trek back to Notre Dame in past years to volunteer your time and talents to Notre Dame Day. I know you answer the call anytime that they make it to you. And you've been in TV 30 years. You've done a lot of programs. But have you ever seen a show with this many straight hours of live television anywhere? And why is it important for you to be a part of it?
I've never seen anything like it. And I told Jim Small when I first did it several years ago, and I can't even remember the years now. We've been doing it for so long that there's no other school that does this. Perhaps some have tried, but no other school can support this. No other school has a network to support this. Notre Dame Day, we were doing Zooms before Zooms became common, before the pandemic hit. I mean, we've been doing this for years, right? So anybody, when you're a Notre Dame person, when you're a Notre Dame grad, alum, even a Subway alum, and you know that there's something happening that involves the University of Notre Dame, you're going to go out of your way to watch, to be a part of it. And that's why this works. You could broadcast to no one. Anybody can do that. But we're broadcasting to people that have a vested interest in this university. And that's why it's always been an honor to do this. Again, this kind of thing will live forever because the Notre Dame family gets expanded every year. And I'm holding in my hand, we always try to, I got the latest issue of Notre Dame magazine. And I can't tell you how excited I get when it comes in the mail. Because when you're not on campus, when you're not there, anything Notre Dame related, any communication, anything that you can get your hands on, you tear into it. And this is just another part of that. Heck, I wish we could do Notre Dame Day once a month.
So does Jim Small if he had a bigger staff.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure he would like to do that.
Sure he does.
I know. I love being in the anchor seat, and that's one thing I don't get to do enough and didn't get to do because I'm now heading off to the beach. But always a pleasure, Vic. Take care of yourself. You look great, and you're not here not because of the cancer, prostate cancer that you are successfully beating. It's because of COVID. So we expect to see you next April. Well,
I expect to be there next April, and I'm telling you, next time I come, I want to make sure during a bookstore basketball tournament and I'm going to play in a game by hook or by crook, my bookstore days are not retired. I'm getting in the game, Jack.
What are you going to call it? What's your team going to be named?
We'll worry about the name. We'll worry about the name when I get there, but I'm going to get in a ball game again. Trust me.
Just know the rules are now you cannot use the name Dick Addis in any of the names of the bookstore basketball
Greatest
teams.
names. You worked there when he was there, right?
Oh, yeah.
How did he, just real quick, how did he react? Because I was in school when that name was out, and we fell over. How did Dick Addis react to that name?
He thought it was hilarious. Dick was a character beyond characters. I next time ask me about the little blue bag he brought to work each day, but I cannot talk about that right now. So, Vic, thank you very much.